As the comedian Lenny Bruce said, I know my humor is outrageous when it makes the Unitarians so mad they burn a question mark in my front lawn. Hi, I'm Amy Martin. A lot of people call me the Moonlady. You can find me at moonlady.com or just Google Moonlady. I'm all over that. I've got this newsletter list that had been going on for nearly 20 years called Moonlady News. I'm letting people know that I'm actually retiring from Moonlady News on December 20th after about 17 years. Basically, as soon as the internet was invented, I was totally on top of it. Totally on top of it. Because before that, when I was promoting my seasonal events, I used to put out flyers, and the fax machines came along, and I would fax to people. Oh, I loved fax machines. How I loved it. It saved me so much on gas. And then I got into the internet. And anyway, I'm pulling it together after, 20 years and retiring it. And then I'm going to be drawing my circles a little smaller and going back to writing. And as a writer, I'm known as just plain Amy Martin. So you can find me every Wednesday, Tuesday afternoon to Wednesday, on the Dallas Morning News blog through a group called Texas Faith. I am the weirdo on the panel with Daniel Cantor from the First Unitarian Church in Dallas. And we've got a Buddhist and we've got a Hindu who never speaks up, and, and a whole lot of priests and rabbis and things like that. I also write and I cover comedy for Theater Jones, and I just love Theater Jones. I'll be back over here in Fort Worth next Sunday, I guess it would be, and to review Bob Newhart. So I should know Monday whether or not I get to interview the man, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope I do. Not that I get to. I suspect that this will be Bob's last tour, but I'm not sure. But yeah, a lot of my heroes are winding down their live touring. I wake up every morning and I'm aware of two things. I live on a planet that spins through infinite space. And that's kind of a silly, small thing to say, but really a lot of people never think about the fact that they live on a planet at all. And then I'm always aware that I'm one day closer to the day that I die. And I forgot to apologize about something. This service is usually done with flying frogs. These are rubber flying frogs that you put in your finger and they're kind of like little slingshots. Well, a friend of mine was over with his little daughter the other day, and I basically showed her to my toy cabinet, and I said, have fun and play. And I think she must have found the bag of rubber frogs and took them into the backyard and shot them all. And they're probably in my leaves, and I just didn't see them. So when I went to pick up my bag yesterday, there was no frogs in it, and the two party places near me didn't have any frogs. And I find that shocking, except that these flying frogs are so much fun. They really are fun. So I apologize for not having the flying frogs. However, y'all found me some nice soft plushies that I can throw at you. So think of these as flying frogs, and I will try to. But I tell you, the flying frogs are so fun. You can aim them, you can get them. And in fact, at the Plano Unitarian Church, there is one permanently going around their ceiling fan. So, it will never be gotten down. It's too high. So I am aware of these two things. I'm on a planet that spins infinitely through space, and I am one day closer to the day that I die. Yeehaw! In the wise words of Country Joe and the Fish, and you can sing along with me if you like. And it's 5, 6, 7, open up early gate. Well, there ain't no time to wanna fly. Whoopee, we're all gonna die. Oh yeah. Mortals, we. We start to get the wrinkles around the eyes. We start to get the love handles, ladies. We start to get the bat wings, Every day, especially around this Thanksgiving period, it captures in 24 hours what it means to be mortal on this earth, to be living and dying at the same time. So, Do it tomorrow, because do it today, because tomorrow may be too late. Carpe friggin' diem, baby. You know, you got to. Say what you've always wanted to say, do what you've always wanted to do, go where you've always wanted to go, and seize the day in all its rightness, and all its loss, and all its flying plushies. I realize now I'm going to have to get a really good handy. Put some of these up here and I'll get it wind up going. So, you know, philosophy is fine, but you can't eat it for breakfast, you know? If I only could, I'd be fat. Now laughter, at least that'll keep you healthy. It'll keep your heart, vascular system going. And you just gotta laugh. And if you can't laugh, then you've at least gotta smile. And I have really found this, is that if you just smile, your body changes. Your body affects the way your mind works. So give me a big smile. And then give me the most ridiculous smile that you got. Oh my God, I see some straight faces back there. Come on. More than a grin, I need some teeth. Teeth, show me your teeth. Okay. So change your body, change your mind. Now, you really can't take it with you when you go. You just can't. No object, no body, no anything passes through the veil. No one really knows. That question mark thing again. But if we are at our core parcels of divine energy or energetic imprints or whatever you want to call it, if anything has a chance to cross the veil, it's those energetic exchanges that we do through our lives. Those moments of relationship, all of those experiences and those connections, those moments on our deathbed that we always wished we had more of, because nobody goes to the grave regretting that they didn't spend more time in the office. Nobody is on their deathbed and goes, gosh, I wish I had stayed parked on I-30 just a little longer. You know? And we often, as we're tripping off to the pearly gates, you know, there's going to be regrets, like things that we didn't do, mainly things that we didn't do. And many of those things that we regret that we didn't do, we abstained from because people told us that, well, we shouldn't do that, you know? And one of those things we were told very early on is you're not supposed to play with toilet paper, you know? And I think that that's wrong. So we're going to play with toilet paper. So we're going to do a ritual called weaving the web. And I've done this at Winter Solstice Celebration before with 1,000 people, and we did it with yarn. But I think it's a lot more fun to play with toilet paper, and rolls of toilet paper happens to be what I have handy around my house. So when you're doing this ritual, though, I want you to think about how much of life depends on us reaching out. You know, we tend to stay confined in our cocoon, but reaching out and taking a chance. And so much of life depends on our ability to respond, you know, to be in the moment, to improvise. And all of life is an improvisation. All of life is responding in the moment. And that when we do take chances, that beauty and trust and respond can be the result of taking those chances. And if we're lucky, we'll make something beautiful and magical, like, in this instance, a toilet paper belt. So, what we want to do is sort of stand up and move to the sides, and we're going to make a square. Kind of a circle. Alright, we need a few people in the front, and we need a few people in the back. And we're going to make some gestures here. You're a gesture. You're a jester. Perfect. We have an official jester here. She actually practiced. There you go. All right. These jesters are going to give you official permission to be silly. So you want to hold up your toilet paper and go, as dog is God,
Dog.
Right? So I want to show you something that I've learned. And that is that Unitarians evidently did not learn how to toilet paper houses with dogs. Okay, yeah. So what you want to do is you want to hold one end while you throw the other. And you want to make sure your toilet paper is loose. And so you would hold your end and you would throw it across over there. And then that person would grab it. They would hold their end, unroll it a little bit, and toss it to the next person. So you want to always keep your little pieces of paper in your hand. And if you're lucky, we're going to make a web across here. And feel free to, whenever it doesn't land in the right place, somebody rush it back and keep it. Ready, set, dog.
Okay.
Here we go. You know what she did as a child? Give it more time, give it more time. Oh, she's right. She's right. I think we may not be making a web. We're definitely going to take more time. Let's start again. Yes, spin. Okay, we're almost there. We finished one roll. He's got it. Yeah. That's it. Here's how it's going. He's the center of the web now. All right, he's the spider. Oh no, Spider-Man. It is how are we doing? We want to try to lift it up? Yeah. Oh, under the chair. We're all connected to the microphone. Don't let it go. Okay, roll it up and bring it towards the front. No, not yet. Slow down. Oh yeah, this has got to go in the book. No problem.
Anyone else have stuff? Someone take a picture. Oh, there we go.
It's time. We're very moral for that. I know. It was my inspiration. Very good. There we go. He's getting us. All right. Move it forward. Features
Teachers always never too many paper. Did you get enough?
Now that's kind of cute. I should have everybody break up the web, keep a piece of it, and use it as a notebook. That's all modified with yes, and a fashionable scarf. Yes, it is. Okay, thank you. This keeps evolving as it goes on. Okay, a break for Unitarian humor. Why can't you use sing very well in choirs?
What?
Why can't Unitarians sing very well in choir? Because they're always looking forward to see if they agree with the next verse. So, I can tell that maybe a few of you are a little worried about me. What happened to you? You should be so warped and so weird. I grew up in Camp Lord of the Flies. It's social Darwinism was the official parenting philosophy. Mom was off in La La Land, and this was the 50s, and Mother's Little Helpers were very popular. And Dad was away all the time working to pay for the circus at home. And as the smallest and the youngest, the game was kind of stacked against me. It's hard to be the strongest when you're a tiny, bookish wimp, like I was. And the rest of my siblings are all in athletics and stuff. At Camp Lord of the Flies, God, it had some moments of great fun. We were basically a bunch of semi-feral kids. Let loose to run amok in North Dallas, and we were exploring creeks, riding bikes until midnight. We had insanely competitive board game marathons. And yet there were moments of terror when cruelty was the currency, and the game was predator and prey. My nickname, from the time I could walk until the time I stopped answering to it, was Kill. Kill, grr, rare. My siblings would chase me and chant, Kill, grr, rare, until it just got shortened to Kill. And it was sort of fun at first, and then it got less and less fun. And then after my siblings went off and did deer hunting and learned how to truss bodies and put them on broomsticks, it became a lot less fun. So from the time that I could be thinking, I was thinking about fun and funny and how they could be so radically different to people. There was play, as in the make-believe that we would play where we would get all the little soldiers and all the little plastic people, and we would make whole universes out there beneath the redbud tree in my front yard. And then there was play, like, a cat plays with a mouse. I know, and it's both around us, and that's strange to think. And how the odd divergence would get a laugh. Why did they use you across the road? To support the chicken in its search for self-transcendence. But to be that oddball, to be, off to the side is not so fun in some societies, and I think Unitarians know this. And from early on, I was just really fascinated by these conundrums, how love and cruelty could exist at the same time, how fun and funny could be so similar and so different. And just all the paradoxes. We live on a paradox planet. And I drifted into Taoism, which ended up being a very life-saving thing for me. So Camp Lord of the Flies, it was definitely an odd upbringing. We had the North Dallas focus on school, piano lessons, campfire girls, charm school, Dick Chaplin's dance classes, which were just torture. And then I would have to be coupled on point because I didn't know when the next ambush would be. It was like, predator and prey was the game in the house. And I was a cranky kid. I was a really cranky kid because I never got more than about 6 hours of sleep a night because it was just safer to be the last one to go to sleep. And staying though had a bonus, had a big bonus. I would sneak into my parents' den. I would wiggle under the couch as quietly as I could, although I really think they knew I was there. And I would watch all the comics on the late night television. And they taught me a lot. They talked back to power, and they won, and they did it with laughter. They did it without being bullied, and I love that. I love the honesty of comedy. I love the lack of self-consciousness of doing silly things. You know, comedy and silly is its own meditation. You know, it's one in which we just flat out relinquish control. We totally relinquish control. Comedy slays our feelings of uniqueness and our disconnection. It tells us that we've been human, that we are human, and that humans have been human for a very long time. And there really is no stopping them now. I was just listening on the way over on a piece from Radiolab where they dug up some 8,000-year-old corpse that had been freeze-dried, and they were able to put together its life, and basically it enjoyed a feast of goat meat, and then it got murdered. And I think that kind of capitalizes this weird life on Earth, you know? So that we've been human, and we are human, and there's no stopping us now. And from that honesty comes acceptance, and from that acceptance brought me peace. So, a break for Unitarian humor. I know that. Right here. A group of children at a Unitarian Universalist church school were trying to determine the sex of a rabbit. And finally, one of the children said, well, there's really only one way that we Unitarians can decide. Let's take a vote on it. So, you know, growing up in Camp Lord of the Flies and being weaned on comedy gave me the gift of perspective, you know. It's all small stuff. It really is. Did some a-hole cut you off in traffic? Just doesn't matter. You know? Is your aunt a bigoted dipwad? And no matter what you say will ever change her mind, just doesn't matter. Has Time Warner ripped you off again? It just doesn't matter. 80% of the world would just love to have our white people problems. Now, and some of these are hassles. And most of the time, though, it's not personal. Crap happens. You know? You got to put your big girl panties or your big boy briefs on and deal with it. She's working her puzzle very good. So, sometimes we just have to say, it just doesn't matter. Are you with me? And Bill Murray? And Meatballs? It does matter. It does matter. It does matter. It Sometimes you just have to come to that decision. You know, a little nihilist chanting is good for the soul. A traveler couldn't find the local Unitarian church. And after looking in the center of the town, and looking in the suburbs, and looking out in the surrounding countryside, the traveler asked a farmer, am I too far out from the Unitarian church? Oh, nobody's too far out from that church. So, a wise guy once said about living the carpe diem, you've got to sing like there's nobody watching, love like you'll never be heard, sing like there's nobody listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. So, for dancing, for the conclusion, I will not ask Unitarians to dance that would not be wise. So, to conclude, we're going to push our coordination while singing a song. So I'll toss out the balls, and we'll just play ball until we decide to stop singing, and everybody remembers this song. So we just stay in our places and toss, and the song is John Jacob Jingle Iverson, his name is my name too. All across North Texas. As we rise in body or spirit, join in singing the closing hymn. Number 1, may nothing evil cross this truth.